Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at the S&P 500. Before we jump into the analysis, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback down below. We're always happy to hear from you. We're always interested to hear, what do you guys think's going on? Do you think we are actually starting a new trend to the upside here, or do you think that we're going to have this continuation to the downside? Okay, so let's get into it. So for the most part, I am still expecting this this WXY to the downside, as this is sort of my primary count, though we need to start seeing how we react around this zone, because this is, if we really are going to start to break down here, this is where it needs to happen. Basically we were looking at the potential of this as a 5-wave move to the downside, and this just as a corrective structure to the upside, and we're looking at this as a WXY, effectively looking at this as an ABC pattern to end it off here. So if I just actually turn this off, I'll just draw it on. What we were looking for within this structure was basically this to be a W into here, an X and a Y to the upside. So for the most part, this could be complete. We didn't achieve that 1-to-1 though. That 1-to-1 is a lot higher. I'll just have to adjust this 1 second. So that 1-to-1 is actually up here at this 4129.74. But if we look at the internal structure here of this Y wave, and we look at this just as a simple 3-wave move here, we can argue that we've come up to the 0.854 zone. So it is possible that we could be completed into here. We would need more confirmation of this, and what we'd actually want to see is a break of this low point of this 3944. So we'd want to start to see some 5-wave structure playing out to the downside here, if this is effectively what's going on. So within this smaller structure here, what we'd want to see is something like this play out, where we get this as a 1, 2, potentially all of this will become a 3, maybe looking to push down a little bit lower. Looking at the internals, it is possible it's completed. Look for that bounce to the upside and then a 5th wave to the downside. If this does play out, effectively what we'd be looking for then is this retracement up. This retracement up, it's important we stay below this 4093 area, and then actually what we want to start to see is this progression to the downside in a 3rd wave. We need to be aware though, within this structure, we could actually still look to push up one more time, and we are looking for this Y wave, which is higher up here. So it is potentially completed. Like I said, we could argue that it is completed. We have come up here to this 0.854 of the Y, and we can see we've actually faced rejection perfectly off of it. So it could be that this is actually the turning point, though this needs to prove itself. We need to see the right structure play out here, and we need to get this 5-wave move, then a retracement up for that wave 2, and then we need to start looking for that deeper 5-wave structure to actually play out within this move. For as long as we hang around up here above this high point, above this low point here of this 3946, there is always potential that we could look to extend. So the way that this could be is effectively this could all become a W wave. We retrace for a X wave, and then we push up one more time for a Y wave. So we need to bear in mind that for as long as we hold this low point here at this 3882, effectively we could still see some progression to the upside here in a WXY, and actually this move is still not completed. So if we do start to get a bit of a pullback here, and we actually pull back between this 50% to the 786 zone, it would be possible for us to get another push to the upside with this Y wave. So we just need to monitor how this plays out. If we start to get deeper 5-wave structure playing out here, then it could be indicating that we are actually beginning to form this wave 3 to the downside. So that's what I'm currently looking at in the meantime. If we do take this high again, it becomes more likely that we are actually continuing up here, or alternatively we have a more bullish count in place. So if this bearish count is relying on holding this 4132 area, however, it isn't really invalidated until we cross this 4323 zone. And basically within this structure, we could just have a bigger connector wave here playing out, and that would look something like this. We will go over all of them, but basically we could have a bigger WXY pattern playing out like this, where we actually aren't completed yet. The one-to-one of this would be this 4339, but it can always fall short. So if we do actually see this continuation to the upside, it could be that we're in this Y wave still, and actually we look to take this high point, but fail to take this X wave high at this 432577, and we could still look for this bearish option. But we need to bear in mind that we can actually push up here, so we just need to give it a bit of time to confirm. Within this structure, sorry, wrong one. Let's get rid of that one. Let's talk about this. So the way we'd be looking at this is a W wave into here, an X, and then potentially looking for this this WXY to the upside that we talked about. And effectively this would be one-to-one would be this 4130 here of the smaller internal structure. And once again we would be looking for the potential that this could either fall short, this Y wave could fall short. The minimum requirement for the Y wave would still be that zone we talked about previously in the last video, and effectively that would still be this area here of the 618, which is this 4119. That would be the minimum area that we'd be looking for if this is going to continue as a Y wave to the upside, though it does have the potential to push up as high as this 4339. And this is just something that we're looking at. So this is a long-term trend line that we have. I need to actually adjust it slightly because it's moved up now. But basically we have this long-term trend line that we're currently battling with. We've actually been rejected back through it. So this could be a sign that we're actually going to start to break down here. If we get a retest of this and then actually start to move away, it would actually indicate to me that it's probably more likely that we could be looking for that deeper retracement here. But really until we break this 382 and this 3759, it is possible we could look to extend back up here. Like I said, where we look at this as a W wave, we look to retrace back into this zone of this previous B wave, and then we actually push up one more time. So it needs a bit more time within this, and we just got to give it a bit of time and see how these play out. But effectively we can still go up here. If, like I said, if we start to get some bigger 5-wave structure developing here, we form this as a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 for 3, potentially look to push up for that 4th wave, get rejected on this trend line, for instance. I mean, this is just speculative at the moment. Push up, get rejected on the trend line, and continue to push down. Then we could have a complete 5-wave move here, and then from there we'd want to see that rejection again and actually looking to break down. However, like I said, we could look for this potential to the upside still, so we need to give it a bit of time here. I wanted to talk about the potential of this looking as a triangle as well. We were talking about this previously, and it is possible that we could still see something like this play out, where we just form an A, a B, and then a C to the downside for this D wave. So we're also keeping an eye on that. If we just get a 3-wave structure to the downside and we fail to develop into a bigger 5-wave structure, it is possible we could have this playing out as a triangle. So we're keeping an eye on that. I don't really like the C wave that much within this triangle, but it is possible. The other way we can also look at this is if we do push up here, unfortunately, until we actually cross this A wave high point, which is up here at this area of, let's get right on there, this 4323, we could still actually look at this as a potential triangle developing where our C wave is getting more complex. So even if we do move up here, unless we break this 4323, it is possible we could still see this play out as a triangle. We would have to look at this potentially as becoming more complex, and then this would just basically be a move like this as a double zigzag or a triple zigzag. You know, it would have to be a double, but a double 3 where we get this as an A, B, and then a C to the upside again, and look to actually progress into this zone and look to break down. So, and unfortunately, until we actually cross this 4323, we can't invalidate these options, but it is possible, if we are looking at this option, that potentially we could actually look to start this breakdown here. But we need to actually take these 3946 and this lower point here of this 384884 area to actually get rid of the idea that we can still look to potentially push up here, though really invalidation is only of any moves to the upside is only much lower here at this 3760. If we push down below that, then either we're going to be forming a corrective structure in an ABC to the downside for this D wave, or alternatively we're looking to actually complete that third wave down, but the trigger point for that move would actually only be much lower. The currently the target zone for that would be this 3468 at a 1.618 of this wave 1 that we have got marked up here. So it's got a long way to go if this is playing out, so we just got to give it a bit of time, see how we react, see if we can hold this high point, and if we continue to get rejected here, it's possible we could actually look to break down. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is the potential that we could be looking at bullish structure here. So in the previous video I said that it is possible we could look into a C wave down into this low point here, and I don't really like the internals of this wave 1 here, but we can argue that we have a diagonal where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 up here, and then we have this as a flat for a wave 2. So I'm currently just monitoring this. The problem with this move is it's relying on a lot of diagonals within the structure, and sometimes when you are looking at things as diagonals like this and there's consecutive ones, they can just be a corrective move and actually we look to break down. So for as long as we do hold this 3879 area, this is a potentially bullish count that we could be looking at. And what this would be looking at is this is a 1, 2, and then effectively we're progressing within this green wave 3, though this green wave 3 has got a lot of distance that it needs to travel to for confirmation, but it is possible that this could start playing out if things start to get more bullish and we actually break above this this long-term trend line, and we actually look to break up and get support above it and basically look to move away. So this is just something that we are currently looking at within the structure. So the way we would have to look at it, if I come down here, get rid of this, there's two ways you can look at this. So basically the first part, once again, like I said, I don't really like it because you have to count this as a diagonal within here, where this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 up into this high point. So if this is the case, effectively what we would have is then a flat for a 2, and then we'd be looking at this potentially as a fifth wave up into this high point as well. So we can either count this like this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, because we don't have overlap with that wave 1. It does come quite deep though, so I'm not really liking that fact, but it doesn't go, I mean, it comes down to the 50%, or it comes down just between the 50% and that's 618. So it's not too much out of the range that we'd be looking for. That 50% normally is like the lowest we want to go, but it did reverse from that point and actually look to push to the upside. So we can allow that within the structure. If this is the case, what I'd then be looking at is the potential we could actually have completed into this high point, or alternatively we could be getting some extension within here where this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, and actually we look to start breaking up. But we'll go over that option in a second. If this is the case and we actually have a 5-wave move completed into this high point here, we wouldn't be wanting to go back above this 4092, and what we'd be actually looking for is a retracement down here in this wave 2. This wave 2 zone for support is highlighted here, so we can see the higher range of that is that 3985, lower range 3925. Invalidation of this would come by dropping below this zone here. Let me get this right on the wick there, this 3882.45. If we drop below this point, it would invalidate this potential that we have marked here, and we'd have to just look at this as that corrective structure we're talking about. And by that stage, you know, we'd probably have good structure to tell us whether we are in a 5-wave move to the downside or if it's corrective. So basically that's what we're looking at within this structure. So if this is a 5-wave move like this, what we'd be looking for is effectively a deeper wave 2 retracement. So the minimum we'd really want is this 50%, which is this higher range here, which is this 3985. And then the deeper down ranges would be sort of the 618, 786 area at sort of a maximum that we'd want to come with this. The interesting thing about this is this this golden pocket is right here on the bottom of these wicks, so it could be something we actually look to target out before looking up if this is a 5-wave move. Once again, this move would have to prove itself, and by doing what I mean by that is we'd have to see this retracement to the downside in a 3-wave move, something like this, and then we'd have to see this actually play out in a clear 5-wave structure for wave 3. Now the typical wave 3 area for this blue move here would actually be this 30598. If we do get this push up for this 30598 area, then effectively we could look for some continuation here within the structure. So I've just placed this third wave here. Obviously, if we do get this move, this would actually shuffle down, and this third wave would actually be the completion of this 5th wave, and then we'd look to actually push up and continue this move to the upside. So this is a possible way that we could actually start this move to the upside and start to look for this target of this 3882. If we do move up, we could actually look to interact with this top channel here. There's not many touch points on this currently, so we do have to wait and see how this reacts, and it is possible that this could look to shift if the wave 3 becomes more powerful. This channel can shift up slightly. So we'll have to see how we progress within this. And once we've got a bit more wave structure here, we can potentially draw a steeper channel if it is developing as this 5-wave move. So basically, within this, I wouldn't want to see us drop back down below this low point of this 3882. If we hold that and we drop back into the support zone, potentially we can look for that 3rd wave to the upside. If it breaks down through this zone, that'll be the first indication that the bearish count is potentially correct. And effectively, once we lose this 3759, we would have to then look at the potential that that either this is going to be a bigger ABC to the downside, or we got that triangle playing out, or like I said, this is a potential start of that wave 3. So it's gonna need a little bit of time to play out, but we'll have to monitor these areas here. Like I said, this 3946 will be a particularly interesting zone for me if we do get a retracement back down here. If we can hold this zone, it's potentially looking for this upside. Alternatively, losing this makes us look for those downside potentials. The alternative way that we can look at this, like I was saying, is potentially we can break this down into 2 moves where we have a 1-2, 1-2. So if this is the case, effectively this support zone we'd be looking for would be a bit higher here. And what we'd be looking for within this structure is basically to see a 5-wave move to the downside here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, it's possible we're still within this wave 3 because this wave 1 looks to have dropped quite deep here. I would say that we were still looking for continuation in a 5-wave move. So what we would be potentially looking at is this is a wave 1 into this low point here. So yeah, I mean, it's met the 1.618, so it is possible that we could see this play out like this, where we get a 4th wave up here and then get that 5th wave to the downside. That area we'd be looking for potentially for rejection would be this 382 area to the 0.5. A 0.5 would be a retest of this channel line. So if we do push up slightly higher here to this 4047, that's potentially what could be playing out, and then we'd look for that 5th wave drop into this zone. If we do get that move as it's shown there, we'd have to look at this either in one of 2 ways. That this is a 1-2. Actually, we could, yeah, I mean, we can argue that this actually is here, this wave 1 high, and actually what we have is flat, where this is an A, B, and a C. And then once we complete this 5-wave move, we're actually going to look to push up for additional structure here. So that would be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up into here. This is an A, this is a B, 5-wave move for a flat, and then actually pushing up for this wave 3 from here. So if that's the case, and we only look to target up the higher range of this, effectively then our trigger point for this, or our typical 3rd wave, would be this 4190 area. So if we do actually move into this zone, then start to move away impulsively and take this 4092, then we could actually be looking for this wave 3. The confirmation would only come by looking for this 4190, and this would have to have good structure within it to the upside. So we'll give it a bit of time and see what happens. Alternatively, we can look at it as it ends in a diagonal to the upside here, where this is a 1, 2, 1 2 3 4 5 4, and then basically this move here is a diagonal to complete as a basically a 1 2 3 4 and 5. So yeah, there's a couple of possibilities here. So if we complete into the high point, we'd be expecting a deeper correction, and what we'd want to see here is effectively this 5-wave move to complete to the downside, and then we'd want to see this come up as a B wave higher up, and then look for that continuation to the downside. So it'll be important to see how we react after this 5-wave move. If we break the top, then it's potentially possible we could be looking at this as a flat, and we're actually looking to push up in a 5-wave move. Or alternatively, if we break up again and we can't break above this this high point of this 4092, and we sort of retrace. I mean, it depends exactly where we come for this move, but if we just speculate that we come down towards this zone here of this 1382 for the 5th, and we look at that as a completed move, effectively we could talk about coming back into this range of 4054 to the 786. That would be an area that we wouldn't really want to cross too much higher than, if we're looking at this as a B, and a C wave. And then basically with that structure, we could argue then that we're going to be coming a little bit deeper into this move. And if we talk about this, say this is what 618 area, then effectively what we could have is a move potentially down here. If I just measure this out from this 5th wave move up to there, to around this 3987 would be a 1-to-1. If, however, we get this move up here into this zone face rejection, and we look to push past this 3940, it would indicate to me that rather than looking at a 3-wave move to the downside here, we have a bigger 5-wave move, and that would be looking at this as a 1 2 3. We'd probably come back up for a test for a 4th wave, and then look for that continuation in that 5th. So that's just something that we're going to need to give it a bit of time and play out. So I've given you a couple of options here. We need to just monitor them. I think it's better to potentially monitor this bullish count as well, just in case we do start to move away from this channel, and we start to actually get some legs on this move. Then it would actually indicate to me that we are pushing up for this 3rd wave scenario. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, why not hit that subscribe button? Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Always happy to hear back from you guys, so drop us some comments down there and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Also in the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Why not come check it out? There is really a lot of things going on in there. Once you're in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.